Welcome to the follow-up after show, kind of our web extra to the viewers that saw the big show. And the big show doesn't handle everything. There's so much more to talk about. That's why we have Chuck Cusick staying with us. He was with the big show. He is the Rotary District Chair for the Polio Plus Committee out of Bay City. Does a lot with awareness with Rotary. We had been talking about some of these outbreaks of polio, long thought sort of eradicated. It pretty much has. We've had some pockets, and now here in Michigan they're doing some wastewater testing for the virus. We don't have any cases in Michigan, but that's kind of what we were talking about in the big show and talked about the history. One thing we didn't talk about, at least a lot of, is sort of your travels. You and Nancy, your wife, have gone abroad, and you've given out the drops, the vaccine. So where have you been, and how did that go?
Well, let's start with Nancy.
Okay.
She went to the country in Niger and was in the worked out of the capital, Niamey, and it's a French-speaking country. And her big thrill there was she had to go out about 3 kilometers to a little nomadic site. And I still have the picture in my mind of her going in, and there was Grandma there, and the kids, and she gave the drops. And Grandma had her prized possession, which was a boombox.
Okay.
And there was no electricity, no batteries, but she had her boombox. And so we are really talking of a back country area.
Sure.
And those nomadic people move from place to place. But then the next year I went with her. That was 2004. We went to Cairo, Egypt. And we only spent a day or so actually vaccinating. And we did meet we got into a little hospital, a polio hospital that was run by a Rotarian from Cairo, and got to meet some of the Rotarians there. But one day they put us with a group of student nurses. And Nancy and I stayed with the young nurses, and one young girl kind of stayed with us to make sure we were safe. I was never worried in any way. But we went through a high rise, and we'd go up and knock on every door unless we knew it was a business. And so you'd have a business next to a very luxurious apartment, next to a regular apartment, next to another business, on and on. So I found that very, very interesting. And then along with that trip, we stuck around and did a tour of Egypt, went up and down the Nile, got to the Aswan dams, places like that. By the way, those trips are all self-funded. Rotary did not pay for anything other than the vaccine that we put in.
Wow, what a commitment, and life-changing for you.
Yes.
What is it like when you've got a couple of kids and you've got these polio vaccine drops and you know that this is going to be forever protecting them?
You know, when we were in Nigeria, they dropped us off at a little area where there was one little medical man, if you would. He took care of 4 different settlements. One was nomadic, but the other, we stopped at the little church, the Catholic church, and the people were all there lined up waiting for us. We were working at that time with a couple of people from the city that they had sent out from Abuja, the capital of the country, and working with them and lined up. It was such a thrill to see these mothers or these older sisters, maybe a 10-year-old sister with a baby on her back, coming in, and they all had their immunization record with them, and then I was able to put in those drops, and it was a great feeling to be able to do that, I have to say.
So moving forward now through Rotary in your role, you're going to continue to do that role? Are you going to continue to speak to groups? I mean, what do you see your role moving forward?
We hope to have polio completely eradicated by 2026. We're coming very, very close. And I want to be there when they give the last drop, if you will.
Right. Well, you're making a difference, and we're brothers in Rotary, and that's a good thing. So great to have you come on to talk a little bit about some of these new cases and what we need to be concerned about. But ultimately, let's get those kids vaccinated and keep moving forward and eradicate it for good. So
for sure.
All right.
For sure.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you very much, Mike.
And thank you for joining us on the After Show.